Yo, you notice anything different? I got a haircut. Oh, also, my lovely significant other completely updated my room. And now we got a place for this guy to just sit up here. So basically, the Earth is a crazy place, and the world is starting to realize that. There's a lot more dark secrets on this planet that you and I may realize. Today, I'm going to reveal all those dark secrets using Google Maps. There are some places on Earth that nobody knows why it exists, but it exists. So, let's do this. So starting off light and easy before the crazy stuff, if you go on Google Earth and you put in these coordinates that you're looking at on screen, what country is this? I don't even know what country this is, but if you go over here and you zoom in, and you zoom into this airport over here, you will see a little Easter egg. That is the Superman logo. I mean Batman, finger slipped. I don't know who put this here. I don't know why this is here, but shout out to whoever did that because this is pretty cool. One thing that I forgot to mention that I need to mention about Google Earth, the satellite images that go across Google Maps that we look at come from private companies like Maxar or government space agencies. So the satellite images aren't from Google themselves, but the companies and the people who actually funded Google Earth. This is very important for you to keep in mind as you watch this video. The people who actually funded Google Earth was a company called Keyhole Inc. And I dug a little deeper. You know who funded the Keyhole company? The CIA. So the CIA is the reason why Google Earth exists. I just needed to point that out for you to keep in mind as you watch this video. But before we dig a little deeper, another harmless, wholesome coordinate that I found that you are currently looking at on screen is in the United States in Idaho. If you zoom in and you look at Robbie Creek, which is in the middle of actually nowhere, this is like a GTA map, and you zoom into this point, you will see a little Easter egg. Goat Simulator. Huh? Says Jesus loves you. This is pretty cool. I was gonna say who on earth did this, but I think it's safe to assume that this Mountain Meadow Christian Center did that. So I guess shout out to Mountain Meadow Christian Center for, putting this Jesus loves you here. So to all my Christian viewers watching right now, this is for you. This next coordinate that is on screen right now, I have absolutely no information about. I just have it written out saying to check this out. So we'll see what this is. I'm not really seeing anything. It's just, what am I looking for? Okay, let me try dragging this creature over here. Okay, I think I'm missing something because I'm not seeing anything. Okay, I googled it. Apparently there's supposed to be this Horseman where this fence is, but I guess they updated the patch notes or something and it's not there anymore, but that would have been cool to look at. Okay, next we have this. This is a crazy one. This is where the video takes a little dark turn. These coordinates is the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine, where Chernobyl happened. Basically, in 1986, there was a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant that exploded during a safety test that went wrong, and it released 400 times more radiation than the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima on August 6th, 1945, which August 6th is actually tomorrow, so it'll be 80 years tomorrow when Hiroshima happened. The bomb that dropped on Hiroshima killed anywhere between 156,000 to 248,000 people, and the bomb had a 4.8 kilometer radius. So if you don't understand, just know that the bomb was completely fucked. It completely wiped out the entire area, like disintegrated it into nothing. It was that bad. But this is not about Hiroshima, it's about Chernobyl. The Chernobyl malfunction that happened led to more radiation released than the massive bomb that completely wiped out Hiroshima. By 400 times. The entire towns across hundreds of kilometers outside of this all had to evacuate. And to this day, this entire area, or even more than this, is just entirely uninhabited. Uninhabited? Nobody actually lives here anymore. It's just an entire ghost town. And it's crazy because the entire town of Pripyat is just frozen in time. It's basically a ghost city with cars and houses there because of this malfunction. The Soviet Union at the time tried to cover it up, but the world ended up just finding out. Hence why we're talking about it right now. Isn't that right, son? Huh? What a perfect spot for him. So let's actually check this place out. Think I could drop this guy in here? Oh, no way. Bro, shout out to the Google Earth person who actually went in here. Damn, this place is massive.
And you know what else is massive?
So I know a few YouTubers have tried to actually come here, but the problem is that because this place is still filled with so much radiation to this day, if you get enough radiation on you, or any, I think, you have to quarantine. And the radiation may stick on you for a very long time. So if it gets really bad from trying to visit this place for whatever reason, you could get stuck in Chernobyl for like a year, just quarantining. That's how dangerous this place is from the radiation that still lingers in this area to this day. So to the Google Earth person who actually went in here and checked this out, shout out to you. This looks like a Call of Duty map. It looks like it's taken straight out of a Call of Duty map, actually. Crazy. Definitely stay clear of that. This next one I'm about to tell you is actually ridiculous. It's one of the craziest things ever. When I found out about this, I was like sitting there like, there's no way. I refuse to believe this is real. So if you put in these coordinates, you get just a random grass field. It's just trees and whatnot. This is in northeast China. Just a random grass field. Like there's nothing to see here. This place, however, in actuality, it is home to one of the largest ice and snow festivals in the world that's held annually in northeast China. This exact area. Like, just take a look at these pictures. This is all made of ice. The fact that human beings are even capable of creating such masterpieces is crazy, and the reason why I'm showing you this is, even though this is such a beautiful thing with these ice sculptures and just everything involved with this, if you were to just go down 15 kilometers, or if you put in these coordinates that you're looking at on screen, which is just literally down the town, you get this. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but the backstory behind this place is one of the craziest things I've ever seen or heard in my life. And the fact that I never heard about it up until I was the age of 23 years old is scary, because who knows what else is being, hidden away from the world. Can I drag this thing here? I can't. And there's a reason why. This is something called Unit 731 Facility. This was just not taught in school, to me at least. But this was a top secret Japanese biological and chemical warfare research base that happened during World War II. One of the most heinous, darkest places on Earth. For 10 years, during 1935 to 1945, anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people, something like that, which were mostly Chinese civilians and prisoners of war, were experimented on and killed in this facility. So they would just take these humans, throw them in this secret base, and would perform the most insane tests on them. The whole goal was to basically see how far these humans can tolerate pain for. So these scientists, they would freeze them, they would torture them, and borderline keep them alive. So they're just borderline at the point of death. But the crazy scientists would keep them alive so they could keep running tests on them for many, many years to come. They would starve them to death, they would light them up. Also, these scientists could test human limits and collect data on it. They did some crazy things, and I'll try to explain as much as I can without having this entire video get deleted, because YouTube loves to do that to me. They would perform surgery on live prisoners without the use of anesthesia, and what anesthesia does is when you have surgeries done on you, it's basically what gets put over your mouth that puts you to sleep. They would perform surgeries without that. So these humans would be awake and they would just, how do I explain this? Immobilize them. So they're awake while surgeries are happening on them, on their bodies, and they're not able to go to sleep. They would put prisoners in massive fridges where they would freeze them, and they would run frostbite tests to see how their bodies and their limbs would, decay as a result of being frozen to such a deep extent. They would purposely and deliberately inject the prisoners, give them deadly diseases to see how their body would react and for how long, and they would just collect data on all of these things. That borderline touches the surface on what happened here. I cannot explain anymore, or rather, I don't even want to explain anymore. If you want to know everything or what happened, you know how to do research, you're on the internet, just Google it, you'll see everything. It's actually insane. And the reason why you haven't heard about any of this is because after the war ended, a bunch of scientists were secretly pardoned by the United States in exchange for the data that they collected. So these scientists did a bunch of insanity over here, and they basically got pardoned for it in exchange for information, in exchange for their data. Like, bro, what in the world is this? So the USA has the data about what happened here, or at least a good percentage of it, and the rest is just tucked away in history. It's obviously on the internet, you could research it, but from my knowledge, you could tell me if you learned about this in school. I never learned about this in school. I don't know why it's not taught in school, but this also makes me think a little bit. Hold on. If I've never heard about this, what else happened during World War II that is just not necessarily hidden away, but not mainstream information. Like, there's a bunch of things during World War II that everybody knows. Everyone's taught about it in school, but then there's a percentage of it that's not there. And I'm curious about it. So I'll tell you about it in future videos, not in this one. And it's just crazy because not too far away, there's this beautiful area with the most gorgeous ice sculptures that I've ever seen in my life, on video at least. Like, this is the type of shit that you think is AI, but it's not. And just down a few kilometers, the craziest research base with the most insane things happened during World War II. Oh, let's move on. Next, we have another one, which I have no information about. It's just a bunch of random coordinates. These coordinates that you're looking at on screen. Okay, what am I looking for? Where are we? Okay, let me take this little guy and see if I could, you know. Oh, for God's sakes, where am I? Why did the Google Earth person just take a picture in somebody's office? Okay, I Googled it because I can't find it. It's just a jet in somebody's parking lot.
What?
It's like somebody was playing GTA in real life. To be fair, those jets are very hard to get. You know, you gotta break into the military base and then fly out. You get 4 stars. It's a headache, I understand. Sometimes you have nowhere to park it, so, you know, just a random parking lot. I guess somebody got caught in that and then they decided to do it in real life or whatever. Okay, wait, this is real life. Why is there a jet in this parking lot? What is going on? Who did this? Bro, I'm still thinking about the last one. Like, what else is not talked about, but that's happened? Like, this was obviously a lot, clearly. I'm gonna do a little more digging. I'm gonna see if I could find anything else, because I'm a bit concerned, if I'm being honest with you. Speaking of GTA, somebody else got caught playing GTA in real life. If you put in these coordinates, and you zoom in, you will see a car on a roof. Now, I know it's not coming out very clearly, but this actually is just a car on the roof. Like, it even says, car in the roof. Someone probably did one of those stunts, got a little bit carried away, landed on the roof, and then called it a day. These next coordinates takes you to the middle of actually nowhere in California. If you zoom in, you will see just a random target on the floor. Now, it is speculated with absolutely no proof, just people just, you know, doing what they do best online and just making random theories. But it is speculated that if you were to dig underneath this, you will see an underground society of people. But like I just said, there's absolutely no proof of this. It's just people waffling. But it is crazy to see. Why is there just a target in the middle of nowhere? Who knows? I don't know. I don't want to know. I partially want to know, but not curious enough to find out. Next, you put in these coordinates, takes you to Iraq. Fun fact, I've been to Iraq a bunch of times. It's a much more beautiful place than people realize. But if you were to zoom in, you will see just a random shipwreck that Google Earth managed to catch on camera. That is a massive ship, and that is a big loss. No idea what was in this ship, but I was gonna say pretty cool, but it's not pretty cool. It is cool, but it's not. Poor guy, whoever was conducting this ship. I hope he's still alive. Next, if you put in these coordinates, I can't find it. Where did it go? I swear I just saw it. If you put this in, you could find somebody who had beef with Google. It says F you Google. If you put in these coordinates, one of you guys could probably find it for me. I don't know where it went personally, but yeah, that was fun. 20,000 likes and I'll do a part 3. Subscribe if you want to see that. You can watch this video for the first part, or if you want to cringe, you can press right here. I'll see you on Friday.